Well, the only thing anybody caught then, because it didn't go live when it was supposed to, they caught for mature audiences only. So
Yeah, for mature audiences.
at least they'll know where they stand on this show. Hello.
By mature, do we mean senior?
No, it means older adults that can understand.
Oh,
Only kids on here.
I was about to say that may exclude all of us.
We are all mature adults. Good evening. I'm Bill Lofton. I'm your host with Intelligent Ramblings, and we're fixing to ramble on with our co-host, Mr. Gary Glenn, William Harrington, and John Cone. Well, guys, it's been a busy week. It's getting hot and contested in the election and whatnot. And speaking of that, presidential hopeful Kamala Harris decries Trump after John Kelly says he wanted generals like Hitler's. She said that Wednesday that comments President Adolf Hitler reportedly by Donald Trump to his longest-serving chief of staff opened a window into who the former president really is and what kind of commander-in-chief he would be.
Come on, he's already done a good job as commander-in-chief.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree. Being ex-military,
Well,
I didn't do nothing for me.
It's all in how you phrase things.
Well,
It sounded like he was praising Hitler.
Yeah.
Because some of his generals have had less than kind things to say about him. If you remember, though, some of Hitler's generals were actually very, very good military men, and they didn't like Hitler either.
well,
So,
let's in respect to what you're saying, Gary. Let's go on to this statement by John Kelly, a 4-star general who is Trump's longest-serving aide. He stuck with him longest of anybody. He said, certainly the former president of the far-right area, he's certainly an authoritarian, admires people who are dictators. He said that. So he certainly falls into the general definition of a fascist.
Kamala falls under the definition of a communist. She wants to go communist all the way with social programs and taxing the rich and everything, taxing the middle class, and giving it to the...
Taxing, well, you're talking about taxes. Trump's central idea is taxing the tariffs, which will increase the people, you, me, Gary, and John. It'll cost us $4,000 a year more if we go by his idea.
Well, that's if you buy
Well,
stuff
I'm
from
not
China.
sure.
No, that's this. You buy stuff from Italy, France, Belgium, South America, Canada, all tariffs. That's what he's saying. He's going to tariff crap
has
out of
said
everybody.
I wish,
Tariffs all the way around.
I'm really going to have to do some. I'm really going to have to do some research. I saw 2 of those political ads that we have all seen ad nauseum, and I do mean ad nauseum.
Absolutely.
Back to back. One claimed that Trump is going to save Medicare and Social Security, and the other one said Trump is going to destroy Medicare and Social Security. So it's all political speak.
Trump has publicly come out
you know.
against Medicare and Medicaid. He has said that we need to get rid of it. I mean, that's a fact. And one of the commercials you're talking about, Gary, where they ask Kamala Harris if she would change anything. I mean, this is really to the point of what you're talking about. If you would change anything that President Biden had done in the last couple of years, and she said, no, I don't think so. I think I'll go right along with it. Well, the problem is that she didn't say that just now, or 2 weeks ago, or a month ago. She said that when she was the vice president. And when she was the vice president, of course she's going to say, no, I think Biden's done everything correct. As any vice president would say. It is an absolute lie. Cut and dry.
She's still the vice president, and she's still very reluctant to criticize anything the administration has done. Kamala is a lawyer, and she speaks in lawyer speak. She does get a little testy at times when she's pressed. She really hasn't had to go before a whole cadre of journalists that perhaps would not be sympathetic to her.
She went on Fox.
Testy in the NBC.
She went on Fox.
She went on Fox, and then she went on NBC, and she got a little testy with NBC, which is not really known as a far right bastion by any stretch of the imagination. They're all politicians. I don't trust any of them.
Well, I don't trust any of them, but I trust Trump less because he thinks he's going to be Putin too.
I don't.
And if you don't trust me or anything we got to say, what about these guys? These are people that are here, former staff members, his vice president, his secretary of state. The list goes on. All these guys right here that you're looking at all said that Trump is a loser. These are the people that he handpicked to run his administration. All of these guys. And they're all saying, do not elect Donald Trump. Now, when Obama ran for the second term, did his whole staff come out and say, do not elect this guy? He's crazy. There's something wrong with him. He's losing his shit. When Clinton ran a second term, did his people come back out? When Reagan went?
Ronald Reagan.
When he went, did they come back and say anything? What about the Bushes? Did younger Bush, when he was running his second term, do you think any of his people came back and said that? This has never happened in history of our country, where the whole group of people that were handpicked by him said he's unstable. If you don't believe me, you don't believe Kamala, listen to these people, because these are the ones that were with him, and these are the ones that he gave orders to. He's the one that talked to these people.
I'll have to admit, there's a handful. There's 8 or 10.
There's 11 people there, William.
Well, that's a handful.
Yeah,
I can hold 11.
I can't read their names. I can't read. It's too small for me to read.
So Mike Pence, Tillerson, former Secretary of State, Bob Barr, former Attorney General, John Kelly, we were just talking about, Mark Milley, also a general, Mark Esper, former Secretary of Defense, Bulldog Mattis, also a general, John Bolton. Can't tell who the last 3 guys are. Here's something I would like to add to the conversation about what the generals are saying, is that this has never happened before. In modern politics, at no time previous to Donald Trump will you find where 4 generals came out and publicly said, basically, don't elect this guy. It has never happened. And if that's not a warning signal, I don't know what is. I think we are idiots if we don't pay attention to what they're trying to tell us.
I'll read out their names, or what they did. Former acting chief of staff, former director of the National Intelligence Agency, former security advisor, former Secretary of Defense, he had a couple of everything. Former Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, former Chief of Staff, former U.S. Attorney,
General.
and former Secretary of State. Those are the top 6 positions in the government, and they're all coming back and saying this shit's crazy. You
Not to
cannot
mention the
reelect
former
him.
vice president.
And the thing about it is, as John said, this has never happened in history. And these guys, they're the tip of the iceberg. I mean, if your top 6, 7 guys in your government say he's crazy, do not elect him. It's scary that people would still want to elect him. I don't understand that.
Then
I
there's
understand.
a handful of people that says elect him that's in the same boat.
Like,
I don't know. Giuliani,
who's going to prison next?
why is he going to prison?
He's got to.
Because he got convicted.
He's got had that judgment that he had against him is a civil judgment. It's going to cost him just about everything he has. He's already been ordered to sell all of his stuff, including his grandfather's watch and his prized Mercedes, and all that kind of
His
stuff.
DiMaggio jersey.
All kinds of stuff.
He's run out of people that have any brain at all. Now he's got henchmen. That's all it is. He's got brown shirts. That's what it is. Go back to Germany. Brown shirts. This guy wants to take over our country with supreme power. He's already said that he's going to take the military and make the people pay.
What people?
The people who disagree with him, pre and post election.
He's going to quell the enemy within with the military. It's what he said. Quell the enemy within. That's me. He's going to come after me with the military because I'm a staunch opponent and I have absolutely 100% absolutely do not want to see him elected.
I don't think he's going to come after you.
I'm the enemy within.
No, he's talking about
Well,
people
he's-
like,
No, he said the enemy within, the people that disagree with him. He said it. Okay, I'm off my soapbox for a few minutes.
William, it's a matter of degree.
Well-
It doesn't matter if he's coming after Bill Lofton or somebody in the national media who publicly disagrees with him. It's just as bad, no matter who it is.
well, they should come after somebody in the military because they're supposed to remain neutral and not speak out. That's one of the tenets of being an officer in the military, to keep your mouth shut.
Well,
These
Kelly
guys
said
right-
Kelly said that he did not support, give his support to any political party at all. But he said, I felt that I had to come out and say what he said and when he talked about Hitler did a few good things. Name one.
Well, he took a country that wasn't supposed to have any arms or any standing military and turned them into the most powerful country on the planet. Had
That
he
wasn't
not been
good.
stupid and attacked
not
Russia,
good. That's
he
not
would have
good.
taken over. No, it's not good, but he had a heck of a plan as far as having military superiority.
Taking over the world. That's what his ultimate gain was.
I don't think Trump wants to take over the world. I think
No.
he just wants to protect America.
He wants to take over America. He wants to be Putin too.
No, he doesn't.
Or Hitler, too.
Putin's crazy.
So I have a question for William. William, protect America from who or what?
Well, from Putin
What is he-
and from Kim Jong-un or whatever his name is from North Korea and China. He wants to protect us from
so
that. He wants to build up the military.
Those people have
Military's gone
been
to pot.
in power, or they're. Let me finish what I'm asking, and then we can talk about how the military hasn't gone to pot. The people that you're talking about protecting the United States from have been in power for way longer than the one and only, hopefully, Trump administration we have. And somehow we were protected from them before that and after that. So I don't get what uniquely qualifies him to protect our country so well. That just doesn't hold up.
I mean, our military is squared away. Our military is the top of the top. Ain't nobody can mess with us.
We spend enough on it.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready to go to something else?
Well, one quick final observation. This is an election that's going to be based on people's fears and the economy. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
If you are afraid of one or the other, then you're going to vote for the other person. And if you think you were better off under the Trump administration economically, or will be better under the Trump administration economically, you'll vote for him. And if you don't, you think you'll be better off under Kamala Harris and her administration, then you'll vote for her. It's all about fear and the economy. Just about always has been. Although you used to be able to vote for somebody instead of against somebody. And I long for a return to that, but I'm not sure we're going to see it anytime soon.
No. I just don't think y'all are going to be satisfied when Kamala's elected. I just think she's got all these pie in the sky type things. Where's that money coming from? Well, it's coming from us.
Well, that's what all politicians do. They promise you this, that, and the other, and sometimes they deliver some stuff, and sometimes they don't do anything. But I'm less worried about somebody doing nothing than I am somebody that's going to try to do something.
America's survived before and will survive again.
And on that, check this out. Israeli weapons seen here in a rare AP photo of Beirut airstrike appears to be a powerful smart bomb. Now, I saw the video of that, and then I saw the picture. In the video, this is about a 10 or 12 story apartment building. And it hit it, and it imploded. I mean, it went from 12 to 1 story like that. It dropped the whole building. And somehow some AP photographer got a picture of it. He'll be famous for the rest of his life because of that shot. That's all it takes, one shot like that.
If he survived.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
The airstrike came 40 minutes. It's a smart.
Is that the bomb right there in the center?
Yeah, right there. Dead center. You can see the blades on the back of it.
Before it hit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the airstrike came 40 minutes after Israel warned people to evacuate 2 buildings in that area. That area is located near Hezbollah warehouses and assets. The site was not far from where a spokesman for the militant group had just briefed journalists. So, 20 minutes before that, there were journalists down there getting a briefing from Hezbollah.
Well, at least they warned
them. Is this in
them.
Lebanon, Bill?
Yeah.
Beirut.
Yeah. Beirut.
Well, Israel has taken out most of the leaders of Hamas over the last month or so. I think they're crippled, but see, the problem with that is they're a guerrilla force, and they'll still hide in the shadows and still wreak havoc, even if they have nobody that's ultimately in charge. You got a bunch of fanatics. There's no reasoning with fanatics. by the very term, there's no reasoning with those people. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been hating each other for 4,000 years.
They have been hating on each other for a long time.
A long time.
I wonder where they got that bomb from.
Us.
Isn't that the one that the United States and Israel co-authored?
Yeah, well, that's an Israeli strike. So yeah, I'm sure that's where they got it from. But if you look at the list of the leaders of Hamas that the Israelis have taken out over the last month or so, it's a pretty long list. I mean, of the top people.
And supposedly they're taking out warships.
I can't wait to see what they got in store
warship.
for Iran. You know that's coming. They're gonna shock and awe on Iran. It ain't gonna be a little bitty missile like this. It's gonna be 30 of them, and they're all gonna be aimed at the right spot.
It's amazing that they got that pinpoint accuracy that they have.
U.S. confirms North Korea has sent 3,000 troops to Russia for training and possible Ukraine combat.
That is about the most disturbing story I have heard recently.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
That
pretty
Because
disturbing.
that really worries me. That is an escalation that I don't think we can abide, and I
No.
don't think we will. Something will happen because of that. If they participate in the Ukraine. Now they may be over there just rattling some sabers, trying to psych some people out. But if they move into the Ukraine, I think all bets are off. I think the United States will say, okay, we didn't want you striking deep into Russia, but hey, go for it. Of course, that'll escalate things even further. This is a really, really disturbing thing. But you got some genuine card-carrying, dyed-in-the-wool nutcases over there. They don't seem to give a damn.
no.
They either think they're going to survive or they don't care. Both of those things are very worrisome.
Well, it is a scary picture. But they have actual film of North Korean troops in Russia has been snuck out of Russia and broadcast all over the world. I saw it tonight.
Well,
And,
those dictators cozy up to one another,
Well, that the guy over in North Korea, he's as crazy as a bat. I mean, he's in an alternate universe, and he thinks he's a god, and he thinks he can do whatever he wants because he's got a nuke or two. But he doesn't understand what hell hath wrath on him if he ever uses them.
Oh, it was
So, what is
pretty.
how do you respond to the fact that there are now thousands of North Koreans in Russia, if not in Ukraine already? I mean, what is the response to that?
Well, as I said, the response is as long as they stay in Russia, they can march up and down and shoot their rifles in the air and do all kinds of military drills. But if they ever set foot in Ukraine fighting on behalf of Russia, then I think the rest of the world, particularly the NATO alliances, better set up and take notice and act with alacrity and in no indecisive manner. I think they're asking.
In less than a month, you're going to have Kamala running the show.
What?
I'm not so sure yet, William. This is an awfully close election, despite what everybody's saying. I don't think it's a sure thing for either one of them.
Thank you for that vote of confidence, and I feel like she's going to do just fine.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be a landslide.
That ain't going to be a landslide.
So
but
let
I
me-
think she'll win.
Let me ask again, how do we respond? do we try to head this off at the pass? Do we
I think
double
those two
down on what we're
channels-
doing right now? What do we do?
I think those channels have already started plummeting as far as diplomacy is concerned. I think there will be further economic sanctions. I think we will give Ukraine permission to use weapons that we can supply or that the rest of the world can supply to attack when and where they want to. We've been kind of holding off on that. We're saying, okay, guys, just use it to defend your country right in there. I mean, if this goes like this, I wouldn't, some of those missiles have long range capabilities, probably with the capability of getting close to Moscow. See, now, long as that war's way over yonder, we really don't give a shit. If it starts falling in my backyard, now you got my attention. I'm kind of
Kenny
surprised.
Kenny Poe is saying that all it's going to take is a couple of North Korean casualties from American-provided weapons. Got a side chat going on over here. Kenny can't get through on the chat.
Well, it's going to be American weapons because that's where Ukraine's got most all of them from.
Well, I think you'll probably, John, you may see more of the NATO countries get involved too.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to what I said, to what I always say. Sorry to sound like a broken record, but I think right now we need to be more aggressive. We need a no-fly zone. We need to tell Russia, evacuate your troops from the area you occupied in 2014, and otherwise, prepare to meet your fate. I think we have got to be more aggressive and take advantage of Putin's position is not good if he's willing to take on all the consequences of having North Koreans help fight his war for him. I think we have to do something right now and should have done it months ago.
I think
anything
I heard
from
else say that too.
I just wish we would be more decisive and be willing to take more of a risk.
I wonder how many troops we have in Poland right now.
I don't know that we have any.
Are they building up at all?
Well, I think
I know
the Polish army
Germany
is there, but I don't think we have any troops in Poland. We do in West Germany. We got a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm a little surprised all the Russian oligarchs that are really have the power have not already put a lot of heat on Putin. Unless he's got them some way buffalo too, or they're scared.
We got
of him
10,000.
somewhere. I don't know.
You just
10,000
Googled the
troops
same
in
thing I did.
Yeah, 10,000.
Okay.
10,000 what?
We have 10,000 troops in Poland right now. So, fuck those damn North Koreans. We got 10,000 American troops over there right now. And that's in Poland. In Germany, how many we got?
Hundreds.
See who can Google it fastest.
I don't know, but they're
35,000.
I was wrong. I thought we had way more than that.
Well, we did have Elvis over there in Germany for a while.
So we got 45,000 troops sitting there on the border of Ukraine right now. So we can relax a little bit. So, if he gets all wild and crazy.
and then you got airplanes that can reach there in just a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
I'm hoping we're not witnessing some sort of preface to World War III here. So that won't be pretty at all.
Guys, we got 1 minute. We got to jump to college football. Didn't mean to cut you off, Gary. Apologize.
And that's all right. Say a prayer for the world. That's all I got to say.
And we don't want Donald Trump to be the one to talk Putin out of it, right?
I think Trump would sell Ukraine out in a heartbeat.
In a
I
heartbeat.
don't think so.
I absolutely agree.
He says, you know, he would have the war would be over the next day. Well, he'd make a deal, and that would be the end of Ukraine.
And with that,
I don't think so.
and with that. And with that, as I was saying, we'll go to college football, a little bit friendlier atmosphere
College football.
that we can talk a little bit. College football 2024 on Intelligent Ramblings with your intelligent picks from 23 October 24. This is week number 9. Guys, we're averaging, well, most of us are averaging 75%. If you're a gambler, that's good money. I looked it up.
We're averaging averagely.
Averaging. Actually, for a gambler to make money, he's got to hit it 55% of the time to start making money. And we're well above that average. So,
Well, you can talk.
if anybody's
talk
out there
about
watching, if you're out there watching, you definitely want to tune into us at 8:30 on Wednesday nights when we switch over from the dire situation on the planet and our politics to college football. I want to welcome everybody in the audience. We see there's a couple of people in there. Please, if you got any thoughts on our picks, please comment and join in the conversation. Gentlemen, y'all ready to make some picks?
Let's do it.
Yeah, well, Georgia, I think we need to talk about the beatdown that Georgia put on the former number 1 team in the country.
We'll get
I
to that
think
in a
somebody
minute.
finally got their attention. All right,
get
go
to
for
that
it then.
Oh no, wait a minute, you're right. Georgia didn't even have a pick, so let's talk about it. I really enjoyed it, so Texas got a
Well-
Georgia welcome to SEC old-fashioned ass whooping.
Yep.
Did you
Double 'em up.
did you see Quinn Ewers and Manning sitting there on the bench right before halftime? They had a stunned look on their face, like, what do we do?
Well, you're gonna sit there and take that ass whooping like a man. That's what you're gonna. That's what you're gonna do. But you know, Georgia showed that they're capable. If somebody just gets their attention, they play up to their capabilities. That and my wife, who is y'all know my wife. She's this sweet little brown-eyed girl. Oh man, you didn't want to put her in the room with those officials. that wouldn't have been pretty at all.
That may have been the worst officiating crew that I've ever seen.
That was really bad.
I mean, it was
That's
like,
an SEC crew at that.
I mean, they thought
Yeah.
Texas was Alabama. They were calling it so bad. I mean, you know how Alabama always get the officials.
Yeah,
It's Alabama
Yeah,
plus the officials every game.
and you know, we need to have a definitive ruling on this targeting thing, and maybe there is, but it looked to me like they were hitting with their shoulder pads, and
Yeah.
I don't know what. I guess you just got to go into every tackling situation with your head way up. Of course, that might be dangerous for you. I don't know. I thought that, and then on the pass interference that was reversed, if you look very close at that video, who instigated that particular conflict? Right? Wasn't it the Texas receiver?
It
The
was.
receiver ducked his head right before he got to him.
Well, and he hit him with his arm. It was like a shiver, like we used to call it. He hit him with his arm. Then they're all up there, and then even all of the crew, the broadcast crew, were saying, oh yeah, he's in. That's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. And the official comes back. The ruling on the field stands. The runner's down at the 1. Okay. Well, they removed all that a couple of plays later anyway, so that was that. But righteous anger prevailed, and Georgia won 30-15. And now they're taking a week off, and they probably need it.
I'm glad they're getting it off. I'm thinking that we're probably going to get Tate Ratledge back. Our guard, our All-American guard, will be back for Florida. They're saying Small Munion's going to be, he might be, but there's chances are he'll still be out.
Robinson, both Robinsons.
Both Robinsons, yeah.
One's got a knee, one's got a toe.
The one with the toe's been out most of the year.
Yeah, I think I could play with a hurt toe. I don't know. Maybe I couldn't.
Well, you got to
Depends on
think
how
how you
hard
got
it
to
is.
push off. I don't know. I broke my toe. I know what it was like. I don't know if y'all remember that, but I think it was my junior, it might even be my senior year. We had wrestling in PE class,
Yeah.
and I was a pretty decent wrestler, and so I thought I knew all that shit. I didn't really need to pay much attention, and I was barefooted, and we were on the mat before class started, and I was messing around with somebody, and I dug my toes in the mat, and then I turned to the right, and my toe stayed to the left. Broke my toe in 3 places.
Soft mat.
And you can only imagine how much grief-stricken people were when they saw me being toted out of the gym with my toe sticking. I mean, my toe looked like that. It's supposed to look like
Ow.
that. It actually looked like that. And they toted me out of there and took me up to Dr. Adams' office. They were all laughing. They thought it was the funniest thing in the world. That I'll never forget. I don't remember who, but I remember pretty much everybody in the gym thought it was hilarious that I broke my damn toe. Went back to Dr. Adams. He looked at it. He said, "Well, let me look at it." And he goes, and set it and taped it up and said, "You'll be good to go in about a week."
Wow.
Yeah. He set my broken arm like that. I can just set it. I said, okay. Crack! Bad mistake. Bad mistake. Don't ever say that. Okay, just set it. No. Give me the needle. Give me deaden this thing. But I was only in the 2nd grade, so I didn't know any better. I know better now.
Let's get to
Okay.
picking.
All right. Let's get to picking.
Illinois, number 20, Illinois. Doesn't sound right in my mouth. 20, Illinois. At number 1, Oregon. Oregon has come into their own. They're going to be hard to deal with the rest of the season.
Yep.
I don't think they're as good as Georgia. I don't think they're as good as Texas. And I think if Ohio State played them 10 times, that Ohio State would win 5 times. But they're better than Illinois.
Yeah, if this was in Illinois, I'd pick Illinois, but I went with Oregon.
And it's at Oregon, too.
Yeah,
So,
that's one reason.
Yeah. Plus, Oregon's got a pretty good coach, don't they?
John,
I've got Oregon.
Unanimous.
unanimous on Oregon. Penn State at Wisconsin. Well, Penn State is undefeated.
I think they'll stay that way this week.
I almost went with Wisconsin because they're at home, but Wisconsin doesn't have a typical Wisconsin team, so I went with Penn State.
I went with Penn State too, as that's an easy one.
Well, Wisconsin's lost to USC and Alabama, which you expect, but the USC wouldn't expect. And USC's a pretty decent ball club, but they're not championship caliber, and they beat Wisconsin. So, absolutely, I'm going with Penn State. Nebraska at number 4, Ohio State.
I think the
Ohio
Buckeyes.
State is. Go ahead.
I think the Buckeyes are going to play with a chip on their shoulder. They probably should have won that game if the quarterback hadn't had a brain fart or two. But if the butts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas too. I mean, the Ducks won that one fair and square. The Ducks won that one fair and square. But I think I think Ohio State's got something to prove now, and I think they're going to take it out on the rest.
I think they will, and I think it'll be by 45 or 50 points. Guys, what do y'all got?
Nebraska ain't what Nebraska was.
No,
They're
I
getting there.
thought they were. I picked them last week. I'm not picking them again.
John?
I've got Ohio State.
Well, Texas hasn't righted itself yet. That's why it's kind of leaning on its side. They got the Bulldog beat out of it. Texas, number 5 Texas at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's got a pretty good team. They beat Alabama.
Vanderbilt's ranked. They're ranked 25th.
Yeah, they are.
I didn't
First
see
time
that
in
on
a
my-
long time.
Didn't see that on my sheet.
Long time. Yeah, I think they cracked the top 25.
Had they not
So
lost
they've
to
been-
Georgia State, they might be even
Yeah.
further up the ladder.
Go Panthers.
I don't think they're going to win this week. I think Texas, again, I think they're smarty. They've got something that they want to prove that they can do. And I think they're going to beat Vandy this week. Although, again, I commend the Commodores. They've been playing well this week.
Well, Vanderbilt got beat by
Texas.
Missouri.
But wasn't that overtime or double overtime?
It
Yeah,
was an
5.
overtime
It
game.
was overtime, yeah. And they got beat by Georgia State.
Yeah, I
And then
said
they
they
turned-
hadn't lost
I
to
can't-
them.
I don't understand that. And then beat Alabama. And beat Virginia Tech. That's pretty much insane.
It's a mystery.
They're just well coached, and the well coached team is dangerous.
Well, they got that quarterback. Quarterback's tough.
Well, the
Pavia,
thing about
yeah.
it is, too, like I've said before, according to Dan McGill, they got scholarship athletes too. Problem is when you're playing a lot of the elite teams, you've got athletes of similar caliber, but you don't have enough of them. And an injury or two here or there, or maybe that second guy, or that third guy's not nearly as good as your first guy, and that first guy gets tired after 3 quarters. Somebody else has to play a little bit, and that's where things start going south. Guys, you remember a lot of times you'd see Vandy in Georgia, and it'd be close at the half. I mean, sometimes it might even be 22-20 Vandy, but it would wind up 45-22 because they just ran out of gas.
Yep.
And it's about
Sometimes they
matchups
beat
too.
them.
Yeah. Sometimes it's about matchups too. That might be your answer, John, to Georgia State right there. Might have been just a matchup mismatch.
Florida
still
Shoes at
Texas.
Miami.
And I think Florida
You know what?
State gave up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Miami's a pretty good team.
I think it's going to be a slaughter.
I do too. We all have Miami, and they've climbed in the rankings. They're up to 6 now, and it's at home in Miami.
This is going to be one of those Ohio State, Nebraska scores. They're going to beat Stu out of them.
Yeah, Miami looks pretty good.
LSU at number 8, LSU at number 14, Texas A&M.
You know, I went back and forth on this one a little bit because it's at Texas A&M, and you know the Aggies are playing pretty good football right now. But I'm still had to back off, and I think LSU's playing pretty well right now too. So I'm picking LSU.
Well, I went with the home team. I went with Texas A&M. I just think, I don't know. I just had a hunch there. My hunches hadn't been too good.
I started out with Texas A&M and changed to LSU, and I'm still thinking about it. Right now I've got LSU, and I don't have, they're so close. I might change it back to Texas A&M because of the 12th man. I don't know. Right now it's LSU. Actually we're split right down the middle. 2 of us are for LSU, and 2 of us are for Texas A&M.
Who else is from Texas A&M?
LSU lost to UCLA. And UCLA is the bottom of that league.
Yeah, that was the very first game of the season, and that was as mad as I've seen Brian Kelly in a long time.
The only team that beat Texas A&M is Notre Dame. And they're at Texas A&M. And that makes a difference. That 12th
William,
man.
it's Gary and me picked LSU, and you and Bill picked Texas A&M. To answer your question,
I'm still going to hang with LSU. I think since that first game, I think they've played pretty well.
All right.
Overtime game too.
LSU's good. There's no doubt about it. I'd hate to have to play them.
Number 11, BYU at University of Central Florida. This won't be much of a game.
I hope it's
BYU's
not.
undefeated.
I think it might
They'll
be
probably
close
run.
for a
They'll
little
probably
while.
run the season.
they're one of 4 undefeated teams left in the top 25. We all went for BYU for this one.
UCF can give them a good game, though. They're
I
not
think
that
it might be-
bad.
Might be
Who is the
close
head
for a
coach
quarter,
at
quarter,
UCF?
Maybe 2.
What's his name? Used to be at Auburn.
Malzahn?
Oh,
Yeah,
Malzahn.
Yeah, Gus Malzahn. I still don't like him. I hope BYU pummels him.
Yeah.
I didn't like him at Florida. Well, I don't like anything about Auburn, so it doesn't matter.
Just tell us how you feel, bro.
Notre Dame, number 12, at number 24, the Naval Academy. Go
undefeated.
Navy! Woo! Go Navy!
Undefeated Navy.
That's right.
So are you picking Navy in this one, Bill?
I'm picking Navy. We're gonna upset Notre Dame. Get a midshipman. Ah!
Well, I'm picking Notre Dame.
Yeah, I picked
Any-
Notre Dame, too.
John, did you pick Notre Dame?
I did pick Notre Dame and
Awesome.
thought about Navy for a minute. Both two of the service academies are undefeated right now, which is freaking amazing. Navy can win this game.
Oh yeah.
If they can play their game, if there's a way they can find a way against Notre Dame's defense to play their game, they can win.
There's
Yeah,
no
how
doubt
long
about
I've waited.
that.
You know how long I've waited for Navy to have a great team? I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Go Navy.
I bet you are.
Army's undefeated too.
That's right.
Fuck Army.
The Army and Navy game ought to be something this year.
It's going to be great.
Washington at number 13, Indiana. I'm going with Indiana because it's at Indiana. And
they're
Indiana,
undefeated.
They're undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
And they look good against Nebraska.
Yeah.
They tore up Nebraska. 56-7, I think it was, something like that.
Yeah, I'm picking Indiana too.
Are we all going Indiana?
We are
Oh,
all
yeah,
going
you'd be crazy.
Indiana.
You'd be crazy not to, but
They're ranked first in the Big Ten. Last week beating Nebraska 56-7. Whew. Hard to pick against those guys.
I'd set them back about a year or two. But I think we'll have a Nebraska. They got a good coach now, so it's slow in coming, but, Nebraska's got a bunch of them corn-fed boys, and they're starting. They got a quarterback, I tell you
a
what.
Buford quarterback.
I tell you what.
I don't think they'll be down for long.
I don't either. I think they're going to be something to do with it. I thought it would be this year, but next year, when that kid's got a year under him, they're going to be hard to deal with next year. We ain't going to mess with them. I wish we'd have got Rayola.
Yeah. The Buford kid.
Missouri, number 21, Missouri at number 15, Alabama.
Well, I went with the Tide. They're at home. And when's the last time you remember Alabama losing 3 SEC games?
I don't know if they
2024?
lose.
2024.
It hadn't happened
Picking
yet.
Missouri. You picking Missouri, Bill?
I think I did. John?
You did. Bill's got Missouri. Gary, William, and I have Alabama.
Alabama! They're going to lose 3 in 2024. That's when
They
it's going to
lose
happen.
this one, and they're going to get really loud in Alabama about the coach.
They're pretty loud over
yeah.
there right now. You should hear them. I mean, listen to Paul Feinbaum's show, man.
Yeah.
Half of it is Alabama fans calling up, crying about how bad they are, and they're not doing great. They're not doing as well as if Nick Saban was still coaching the team, but they're like a half a step away from being from having a way better record than they've got now.
Well, and did you think with all of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes, Saban kind of knew that this might be a little bit of a down year, and he just went ahead and got out? Of course, he's making a ton of money now working for the networks and commercials. My God, every time you turn around, there's a Nick Saban commercial on. He's almost ubiquitous as the politicians.
Him and Coach Prime, man, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a
when
ton
would
of
you
money
have
right
ever
there.
thought that Vanderbilt would be ranked 25th and Alabama wouldn't be ranked at all? Or 15th?
Well,
It's a weird
I
year.
wouldn't have bet that Vanderbilt would be ranked at this point in the season, especially. But they are.
With
to
a
their
win
credit.
over Alabama.
All right, Misery. I won't call you Misery anymore if you win this ball game for me. That's an old Southern thing. Misery screwed us and went with the North. Oklahoma at number 18, Ole Miss. Now, I thought Oklahoma was going to be something to deal with, but they're 4-3 and 3-2 in the SEC. And now they're going to be playing Ole Miss, who's in a pretty bad mood about right now.
Yeah, I think the Rebels will rebel all over these.
I think they'll beat them by 3 touchdowns. I hate it because I like our coach out in Oklahoma. But I think that's what's going to happen. What do y'all think?
Yeah, like I said, I'm picking the Rebels. Ole Miss.
I got Ole Miss 45-35. There'll be a lot of points scored in this one.
I've got Ole Miss, and I agree, William. I think Lane Kiffin's going to go for style points.
They were unanimous. Utah at Houston. I picked Utah.
Me too, and I'm not. I think it's just a comparison. The way it's just one of those feelings. I don't think Houston's had a really good year. I think Utah is okay, so I'm picking them head to head.
Yeah, Houston's not that bad, but I went with Utah in a close one. It's not going to be a blowout, I don't believe. Either way, it's going to be close.
I went with the Utah Utes also.
You honor these Utes.
I knew that was coming.
Of course it is. This next one is going to be that was to me that it's sort of a toss up.
Yeah, Houston's 2-5, so they're not much different.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why I kind of went with Utah. But Michigan State and Michigan, the next one up. What you guys? I mean, I was all over the place on this one, and I don't think Michigan's. They just lost too much. Plus, they're on a little bit of a schneid right now, so I'm picking Michigan State in this one. The defending national champions.
I'm going with the Big Blue. They're at Michigan. If they're playing Michigan State, maybe. I doubt it then, but they're playing at Michigan. That makes a difference. I think both of them are mediocre teams, although Michigan State's been pretty damn tough lately.
Yeah, I think they're playing better lately, and I think Michigan is still trying to find something. I don't know what they're trying to find. Maybe that's why. Again, this was sort of a toss-up in my mind, and I looked back and forth, and I did like you, Bill. I looked at the records and all. I'm still going to stick with Michigan State, although it is at the big house. We'll see what happens, but it's not that far from the travel either.
No. I went with Michigan, and I think it's going to be a blowout. I think Michigan's going to lay the wood to them. They're going to score 60.
Wow. Well, we are once again split down the middle. I've got Michigan State right now, and the one thing that would make me change that is if the Michigan home field advantage, I might change that between now and game time. But that would be the only thing. If it was at Michigan State, then definitely Michigan State would win. Go Sparty.
Michigan
I
State
thought about all that.
shellacked by Ohio State. Oregon put it to them. Boston College beat them, but didn't put it to them. It's a little bit closer. They hadn't beaten anybody, not really. Iowa, Maryland.
Well, that's some pretty good football teams right there. Or have been.
Mm-hmm.
Have been. I'm going to stick with Big Blue. Last but not least, or let's say least but not last but last. How's that? Auburn at Kentucky. Two very mediocre schools this season. Everybody expected University of Kentucky to be a lot stronger than they have been this year. I think they've had a lot of bad luck in close games. And I said at the first of the season that Kentucky was going to go 5-5. I don't know if they will or not, but I wouldn't piss on Auburn, so I'm picking Kentucky.
I'm picking Kentucky mainly because they're playing at home. If they're playing at Auburn, I might go the other way. But I'm gonna give the Wildcats home field advantage to pick them.
I'm going with Auburn in a close game, 28-24, simply because they've played people close and just blown it. But I don't think they'll blow this one.
I went with Kentucky, mostly because of home field advantage. Kentucky is just not the team that it was when they played Georgia. Their defense was good until last week. I don't know what happened to them last week.
Well, they're missing 3 defensive linemen.
That'll do
Injuries.
it.
And they're still out. They'll be out against Auburn, too. I mean, Kentucky's been all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat the crap out of Southern Miss. And then Kentucky loses to South Carolina 31-6. And then they play Georgia and lose by 1 point. Then they play Ohio, beat the crap out of them. Play Ole Miss, and they beat Ole Miss. I mean, they've had a just really up and down season. Then after they beat Ole Miss, they lose to Vanderbilt. Then they get the crap beat out of them by Florida, 48-20. So it's been just like highs and lows, you know.
Florida ran all over them.
Which is spooky in 2 weeks.
Yeah, Florida had like
1 week.
almost 200 yards of rushing against Kentucky. Anyway, I've got Kentucky.
Gary,
Yeah,
are y'all going Kentucky?
I'm going with Auburn.
All right, William.
So I'm going to lose ground again, apparently.
Well, we don't know that.
Maybe not.
Any given week.
Any given
Yeah,
week.
I mean, like you said, a lot of these teams have been kind of Jekyll Hyde, you know, and it's who shows up that day to play, who's feeling good, who's healthy. Again, how do you match up? How does my strength match up against your strength?
I mean, you look at Georgia, they put 23 points on Texas in the first half, and they beat Kentucky by 1 point.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you explain that shit?
Yeah, and then how does Georgia go to sleep against Alabama in the first half and then come back and make a game of it? And probably should have won, except for a fluky last second pass.
Yeah.
That was just pure
figure.
luck.
Just go
Just the
figure.
last second, if it went for a last second 80-yard pass,
Yeah.
we would be undefeated.
Well, that was kind of one of those games where whoever's got the ball last is going to win. Hey,
Once again, ifs and buts.
we're candy and nuts. Hey, Bill last week missed 1 pick. He got 13 out of 14. Just
All
wanted to
right.
note that.
Well done.
Thank you very much. And speaking of picks,
I don't want to see that. Good, I can hardly see it.
Gary 75%, John 75%, Bill 75%, William, you're at 67.
I know. I'm gonna quit picking those stupid games.
William goes out for the upset.
Goes for the upset.
The only gambler
Yes,
in the bunch is William.
Yeah, but you know what? If you go for the upset and you beat the odds, then the payoff is bigger.
Oh yeah.
When you gamble with real money,
Yeah,
we're just picking them for fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it for college football 2024 this week. And if you want to follow up with your own remarks, you can always go to our Facebook.com groups, Intelligent Ramblings Friends, and join our group, be one of our friends, and you'll get to see all this on a regular basis. I want to say thank you to all the folks that are watching us in the audience. Y'all been awful quiet tonight. What's the problem?
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching.
We
Thank you for
appreciate
being here. It means a lot to us.
And appreciate the people who tuned in later
If you're
on.
not in our friends group on Facebook, go to Facebook groups, facebook.com/groups, Intelligent Ramblings, Friends. And with that, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. With our finishing remarks. Well then, Gary, really nice guy, honest. You running for are you running for any office or something? You know, you ought to run for mayor of Oakwood or some shit. It'd be fun. Just harassing people.
I could run for president. I surely couldn't do a worse job that's been done the last few administrations.
Well, you got a whole lot to pick from. I'll have to admit to that.
Yeah, well, I just want to tell everybody that I appreciate the support we're starting to get for our wrestling program over at South Hall Middle School. We've got lots of kids that are interested. We've got a few that got a little bit of talent, but I want to tell you what, man, it was a hell of a lot easier getting up and down on the mat 25 years ago. And it is
I know.
now. Especially that getting up part. I can still get down pretty quick. Getting up, no, that takes a little bit.
Speaking of
Then
which,
when
I
you're
got
trying to
4
show
matches
it-
already scheduled. I go to Pickens County twice. I got
Wow.
Jackson County tournament and the Gainesville tournament.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, I will be in Clemson shooting the ring ceremony. Yeah, once a year. They
All
take
right.
all their seniors and they march them up there and give them a ring, their senior ring. It's a time-honored tradition at Clemson University, and I've shot it about 5 or 6 times, so that's what I'll be doing all day.
We
And,
found
Good
out
luck.
that we found out that my oldest grandson's
Thank you.
team squeaked into the playoffs, football playoffs,
Oh, great.
and our youngest grandson, they thought his season was over, but he's been tabbed by one of the other Buford teams to play with them in a football tournament called the Turkey Bowl. So that's kind of a feather in his cap. That's like being picked as an all-star.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Congratulations.
He is a stout little boy. Takes after his grandpa.
I want to show a quick video for you guys watching this on college football. Real quick video. That's right, we're right 75% of the time, so your ass ought to be watching us if you're going to be gambling. Because if we were gambling, we'd be making money.
Don't look at me.
All right.
I
Except
hold
for
that average down.
Except for
We still
William.
got a lot of football left to play, William.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we got
Oh, well,
about,
yes,
about
we
half
do.
the season, not quite, but
With this time last year, I was way behind. I was like 10 games behind. I caught everybody. So I'm not doing as many of the risky picks that I did last year. But I thank you all for being here, and we look forward to hearing from you on our. You can email us at intelligentramblings@gmail.com, and someday, we will have a web page. It'll. I know it'll happen.
It'll happen.
But I'm just someday.
Let's talk about that for a minute after the show.
Someday, it'll happen. Anyway, I said I wasn't gonna give him a hard time about it, but you know
I
me.
think it would help if you did.
I can't hold up much. I'm just not that good. Y'all have a good evening. Have a great week. Watch out in the sky.
Yeah.